all the docs are here, and it's a very special day to celebrate Bob's 70th birthday. And I don't have anything prepared, but I've been thinking a lot about it. No, I really don't. But I thought I would give a little bit of a history of the practice of where we've come to this point, and also to give everybody a little understanding of some of the events of our lives. And you know, Bob and I met each other in 1982, and our families with Yolanda and Marcy, we became very friendly right after that in 1982. We were at Beth Israel in Newark. Bob was a year behind me in training, and we hit it off immediately. In fact, we tell the story that right after we met, we thought about the idea one day maybe we'll open up a practice together. And mind you, that's 36 years ago. That's half of your life, Bob, and more than half. And I want to emphasize, more than half of my life. So, yeah. So, you know, we've actually been friends for an enormous amount of time, an incredible time, and we've had the pleasure of spending Christmas together for every year since 1982, I believe, since that December of '82, yeah. And it's been 36 consecutive years where we always make a point to get together. I've been a part of the birth of their children, Jonathan over there. I assisted on his delivery. I was only a resident, and of course, we were involved in the birth.
I still have brain damage.
It was such a struggle to get you out. Anyway, but so the years began. Bob and I, in the early days of, I was a year ahead, and I would call up Bob and I say, Bob, we have a new area we're going to open up. We're going to go to Rutherford. And we would drive around, Rutherford, and we would look at different places until finally we fell in love with the Monmouth County and opened up. And I opened up the practice a year ahead. Bob joined a year later. We sat down. We sat down like an old-fashioned couple, looking over the books, and we figured out, you know, the little bit of money that was coming in, because there were very few patients in that first year with me. Bob and I figured it out. I said, you owe me $50. You're a full partner, and boom, we became a full partner on August of 1987. That was 1 year. And many of you don't realize, but in those first years, we weren't even making our rent. So Bob and I would work in Planned Parenthood. I was working in Planned Parenthood. We worked in weight loss centers. That's why I look so good. We worked in weight loss centers. And that's really how we paid the bills until things started to get rolling a little bit. You know, in those early years, when people don't realize that, Bob and I would spend enormous amount of time together. We would go out to lunch at the famous Red Oak Diner, which does not exist anymore. One of my heartbreaking events. It had been knocked down, and now it's a Lidl supermarket. But if people don't realize that we had so much time in those days, we didn't have a lot of patience. We'd go to lunch every day. We would have lunch. Oh, lunch break. Well, we had a lunch break because we didn't have any patients. So we would have lunch. And there are so many funny stories, but you know, I can think of the time that we would just drive around. We would drive around and say, let's where are we going to open up an office? And we would drive around, and there was a story one time where we were driving around and we're on the Garden State Park. We said, let's go look at an office in we were actually driving up, going north to Middletown. And we're in my car, and all of a sudden I look down, and the car is slowing down. I look and I go, oh my God, we're running out of gas. The two of us are running out of gas. I'm driving, and fortunately, exit 123 is right, one of those 120s right after 17. And we go off, and thank God there was a station there. We rolled into the station, and we laughed and laughed and laughed. I mean, we laughed so much.
Both had long coats on, and Sandy says would look like two yeshivas.
So we had long We had long nose. It was a winter coats. We weren't wearing the sea coats. We wore the long blue coats, and we looked like, as I said, Bob said, like yeshiva students from Lakewood. But those are some of the incredibly funny stories that we've had a lot of good memories, and now we're here today with great friends, with a nice group, and we're at this 36 years knowing each other, and still amazing that we've stayed good friends, and the practice has such a warm environment, and a lot has to do with the staff and our docs and our friends, and it's an amazing thing. As I said, I'm going to finish it up by saying, Bob, we've had quite a run. And
It's not over yet.
It's
Just warming up. Just warming up.
That's it.
There's no one that has more, we all know this, and staff knows this, that no one has more energy than Bob. Bob at 70 has much more energy than me. I'm always looking to
Take a
close
nap.
the door a little bit so I can close my eyes. So I can take a little nap. But which is not uncommon.
No.
But Bob always has an idea. But the other little things that I just want to say. We talk about the beginning of the practice. Just that, when we first practiced to have computers, it was always Bob's idea. Bob is the idea person in the group. He would always have this. Let's do this. I would look up and go, "You kidding me?" But it was Bob that had the ideas, and I would basically, hopefully, it was the right idea, and usually it was. So let's all raise our glasses to the young man. Bob, may this 70th year be a great year and many more years together as friends, as families, as a practice, and cheers.
Happy birthday!
I